Welcome to the Sit Down with Sibs, where each week I sit down with some of South Africa's most recognizable faces. This week, I sit down with Siv Ngesi at trendy Cape Town spots I Love the Dough, which is a Biggie Smalls inspired pizzeria. The mother city is blessed with an eclectic mix of restaurants. Amongst them is I Love the Dough in Cape Town's Bree Street. The space is owned by Marco Picconi and Nikki Bjorn-Reshka, who are no strangers to trendy hotspots in Cape Town. They're also the owners of Arcade Cafe, which is also in Bree Street. The bright neon pink facade of the pizza joint is likely to grab the keen Instagrammer's attention, and upon entry, it's likely to make any influencer go into potential content overload. The mirror is painted with "Enjoy your fucking dinner," and at the entrance, you'll see "fucking Yon who doesn't like this place." If you think the potential of content for the gram stop there, you'd be very mistaken. In bright neon pink at the back of the restaurant, you will see in bright neon lights Biggie Smalls' famous lyrics, "It's all good, baby, baby." Siv and I are keen to try out the menu today and see if the food matches the aesthetics. Today I sit down with Siv, actor, comedian, and producer. And dare I say it, polemicist of note on social media. More recently, he's done the cover of South Africa's Men's Health May issue, as well as he's a former GQ top dressed man. But to me, Siv is a mentor, a source of inspiration, and a friend. But outside the glitz and glamour of celebrity life, Siv is an activist. He's a proud ally of the LGBTQIA+ community, a strong advocate against gender-based violence in South Africa, and an advocate for girls in less fortunate circumstances in South Africa through his sanitary pad campaign. Today, me and Siv sit down. Siv, are you there?
Yeah, I'm living the dream, bro. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate how always willing you've been to come onto my shows and to any of my projects.
Sure.
How's lockdown been? That's probably the first question.
How lockdown's been? I must be honest. I've been busy as hell. I've been working every day, traveling. I've lost a lot of work because of lockdown. But I've been thriving, man. The money, the bank's been coming in, and I've been working, and I've been getting out there as much as possible. So.
I mean, I've seen from your social media. I mean, like, you're probably one of the busiest people in South Africa at the moment. Everyone else is locked indoors, and you seem to be moving from set to set.
Yeah, I think it's the interesting thing about this industry. I think it's like anything in life. I think if you put in the hard work, I think at the end of the day, it'll always come through. So I think for me, I put in the hard work, and I really, really pushed on, and I really made sure that I get what I want. And I don't know what no is. Failure is just a lesson, and everything else is, chill.
What sort of work have you been doing? Because I mean, I can imagine there's probably like quite loads of restrictions.
So I've been doing a lot of social media, creating content, shooting a TV series at the moment, doing a lot of auditions, doing a lot of voiceover jobs. Trying to sneak ladies into my apartment. I mean, oh wait, that's not a job. That's just me being a typical guy who's struggling with lockdown. But apart from that, no, I must be honest, it's been quite interesting because a lot of my friends in the industry are really struggling and they're really struggling to support themselves. But I've got an interesting view on lockdown, and I think a lot of people don't really agree. I feel like if you have to close your doors 4 months after lockdown, then you're already in trouble.
That's quite a controversial take.
Controversial as fuck. I'm sorry. If you, and I know a lot of businesses are struggling, and I really, really feel bad for businesses. But I had active friends who were down and out 3 weeks into lockdown. If you're down and out 3 weeks into lockdown, you were never in the game.
Yeah, I get you.
You were never there.
I get you.
You know what I mean? And I know people are, oh my God, insensitive as f. But I think the problem is South Africans are 58 days away from landing on the side of the street. If they lost their job, if a South African lost their job, in 58 days, they're on the street.
But you do realize you're speaking from an immense point of privilege, though.
No, see, let's be honest. Poor people in South Africa at the moment have always been poor. They will make it work. Middle-class South Africans are now struggling to even pay rent, right? Pay rent or get their kids to school. They're not used to struggling. But I can tell you, where I grew up in Kukuletu, people like to call me privileged. I'm a Kukuletu township. I'm a township boy, like, through and through, right? I grew up in poverty. I can tell you people in poor areas are making things work because they have no choice.
Yeah.
But middle-class South Africans are going, oh my God, it's terrible, ridiculous. They're not used to suffering.
Yeah.
But I repeat, South Africans live beyond their means.
No, that's true. That's true.
58 days away from being on the side of the street. It's something people don't want to talk about. And I want to say it again. 4 months, lockdowns will be difficult for people, and I agree. But the question is that we need to reevaluate is, we're always in trouble. We're always living hand to mouth.
Yeah.
That's not a way of living.
Yeah, but I mean that's a result of so many other factors, though. I think it's unfair to solely blame individuals.
No. Agreed. Listen, yeah, the other day I was at a house with some friends of mine, and realistically, we're all in the same kind of financial bracket, but there were four convertible black BMWs outside, and I was driving my mom's Hyundai, like a shit piece of car. But at the end of the day, I could afford all of their cars.
Yeah.
But I had a hand, you know what I mean? And they we go outside, Siv, why are you doing that? Why is this car you? And I'm like, okay, that's all good, dog.
Yeah.
But I do think South Africans spend more than they have. And I think this has exposed the cracks. And let's be honest, guys. COVID exposed cracks that were always there. Let's not act like we weren't in trouble before.
Of course.
But I think it is interesting, and I know my point is, because I own businesses as well.
Yeah.
And so every time, and like I've seen a lot of my favorite shops close down. I've seen a lot of them, and I'm like, they closed down a month in. A month? You couldn't survive a month?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and I know people are gonna be angry, but if you listen to this and it upsets you, kiss my ass. And that's how I believe. And for me, my actor friends were in trouble 2 weeks in, bro.
See, I was actually going to ask you, like, has there been much government support in terms of for actors and things like that? Like,
they say there has been, but I don't know. I haven't been part of the.
You don't know anyone who's had.
I know no one who's gotten support. I know no one who's gotten support. But I think I feel bad for restaurants because I love restaurants and I really feel bad for them. But I think a lot of them have adapted. Like, look at this great space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at this great, incredible space. It's unfortunate to see great spaces struggling.
Yeah, I know.
But I know there are definitely spaces that are going to thrive from lockdown. I think a lot of people haven't spoken about that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think the flip side of it is, at the end of it, is that all these places that are closing down, there's some newer and more fun places coming out at the end of it. But I think a lot of people, especially looking in Cape Town, are going to be in for quite a little bit of a culture shock because pretty much a lot of places have closed.
Yeah,
like, I mean, if you go down Bree Street, I mean, so many of these places have closed.
I can see people listening to this and going, Siv, controversial view, oh my God.
Yeah.
I have friends of mine who were in trouble 6 months ago. I have friends of mine who were in trouble before lockdown.
Was the acting industry thriving before? Or, I mean, the entertainment industry thriving before?
Even in the restaurant industry, people have been struggling before lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, I know people who were struggling, the magazine industry.
But look, I mean, I think they were struggling because of loads of issues. For instance, like, tourism has been in decline for a number of years now because we've had the water crisis, we've had the electricity crisis, we have the crime issue. So there's plenty of reasons as to why potentially people would have been struggling. So I think it's maybe a little bit disingenuous to just blame them.
No. See, there it is. I repeat. I'm saying people were in before lockdown. You're saying exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. But you're saying it's their fault. You're putting it solely on them.
No, I'm saying don't act like you weren't in before lockdown.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's the same as it's like people acting like a lot of rich South Africans are going, oh my God, I was hiring 20 people. You don't give a f*** about those 20 people before f***ing lockdown, you f***ing c***.
Yeah.
That's my view.
Yeah.
Now it's fashionable to go, I was hiring 25 people. No, motherfucker, you don't give a f*** about those 25, and you were underpaying them anyway, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Right? But now it's posters going, no, bro, you didn't care about them before. But now it's fashionable to care about them. But I can tell you one thing, is that your life is not as affected as other people's lives. That's my only point.
Yeah.
And you know me, I don't care what people think of me. It's got nothing to do. It's got nothing to do.
No one's a shower.
No, like, let's be honest. Like, if someone's watching this and they're offended, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that I think South Africa has always been. I think the world in general, people debate from their points of view. You know what I mean? Like, for example, it's, oh my God, Cyril's the best president. Oh, yes. Oh, Cyril, to take your alcohol along, now you're like, f*** Cyril, because it's on Zuma. Because now it's affecting you personally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. The same with like South Africans who go, oh, this government is the most corrupt. Nigga, the National Party was corrupt. Did you leave the country then? Oh, you only leave the country now. That now it's black people stealing money. But when it was Afrikaners stealing money, you stayed in the country, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So people only in South Africa, people like to give perspectives from their own point of view.
Yeah.
Because the National Party was stealing money.
Yeah.
Right? And they were oppressing a minority. Did you leave for Australia? No, you didn't. Did you leave for New Zealand? No, you didn't. But now you're leaving because it's, okay, all right. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm all about like, I'm against injustice in general.
Yeah.
I'm against farmers being killed. I'm against farmer workers getting killed. I'm against women getting raped. I'm against anything that's an injustice, period. I'm against people mistreating gay people. I'm against anything that's an injustice. I don't care what color it is.
Are you still optimistic about
Optimistic?
South Africa after this?
I am a big patriot of South Africa, but I think we're in huge trouble. I think it's going to take us years to get out of this. And I'm thinking of leaving.
Really?
Ironically, the irony of it is that I'm just thinking.
Going to Australia?
No. I'm going to go to New York and LA just for 6 months.
Okay.
Just not because of the thingy. I really believe in this country. I really feel like it's a country of great potential. But I think we're really in a deep, dark hole.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I don't think we can get where we need to get to with the leadership we have.
Can I share a controversial opinion that I have? Is that
I doubt it's more controversial than my opinion.
No, it's definitely not. It's not But a thought that has been occurring to me is that I think anything from this point on, South Africans deserve, in terms of and let me elaborate on that, is that we're so complicit in corruption, we are so complicit in the leadership that we have. Yeah. If you look at countries like France, they have very strong revolutionary bases. Like, if shit goes wrong, they start protesting. We are now looking at 107 days or something into stage 3 of lockdown. Jobs are on the decline, 3 million job losses.
And interesting, 3 million job losses, 2 million of those are women. Yeah. Meaning that women who are feeding households of 2 to 3.
Yeah.
So it affects about 12 million people.
Yeah, and we're still complicit. People's lives are still sort of the normal. People are just chilling at home. People are just on the streets. I mean, I'm surprised things aren't burning. I mean, look how quickly America, you took away haircuts, and they were there in the streets. So I think I'm a little bit disappointed in how complicit South Africans are at the moment. And I think there needs to be a little bit more of a charge.
So for me, I believe South Africans are resilient, which is the best and worst thing about us.
Yeah.
So during apartheid, we fought for 50 years. Do you know what I mean? And if I was a woman in this country, if I was a woman in South Africa, I would leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they've been hunted like cockroaches, right? Women in this country, animals die with more dignity in this country. I feel like people care more for how they kill the pigs and how they kill the sheep and the cows in abattoirs. If I was a woman in this country, I would refuse to go to fucking work. Yeah. If I was a woman, I would burn shit down. Yeah. If I was a woman, I would say, no, fuck you. I'm not gonna fucking do, no. But we live in our people in our country take so much. Exactly. Can you imagine being a woman in this country? Could you imagine knowing that if you walk from here to there, you have to think about what you're wearing? Yeah. Can you imagine on a windy day, you're like, oh, it's a chilly, windy day, but I'm wearing a dress, and the chances of that wind blowing my dress up and some men commenting is, you know what I mean? Yeah. If I was a woman in this country, I would burn shit. Absolutely. If I was the population of this country, bro, we should be on the street every day as South Africans. That's burning shit, bro. We should be burning, but the thing is, it can't just be people of color burning. Yeah. We need white people who are not scared of, oh my God, I can't go to a protest because there's no parking. No, fuck your parking, bruh. Yeah. Uber to town and come with us and cause shit, right? But it can't, this perspective can't be only, they're burning shit again. Yeah. Look, I'm not advocating for burning. Burning is a figure of speech. Yeah, I get what you mean. It's about how in Brazil, Brazil, I was there once, there was a protest of millions of people. So when I say burn, I don't mean literally burn things. What I mean is that we should take to the street. We should go there. We should shut things down. We shouldn't go to work. Like, we should do things. Yeah. So what you're saying exactly, we have the government that we deserve.
Absolutely.
We have the government that we deserve, period. Absolutely. That's the beauty of democracy.
Yeah, but I want to take the conversation a little bit because you've piqued my interest a little bit. So you're very involved in women's women's rights activism in this country, be it gender-based violence, especially the sanitary pads. I've seen you did a charity boxing match a few years ago, and you've been quite active in that space. What is the drive, or what is the moment that really clicked that you're like, this is my issue, I'm going to drive these issues?
I think you judge a society on how they treat their women and how they treat their children.
And the elderly.
And
even the elderly.
And the elderly. But I've always loved old people. And I think, do you know that in South Africa, 3 times more men die in the hands of men than women? I repeat that stat. So if there's 3 of us in this room and she gets attacked, do you know that 3 more men are killed? Which means we don't just have a gender-based issue, we have a man issue.
Yeah.
Our men are sick. Yeah. Our men are flawed. But what do you expect with the past that we have? You know what I mean? Like we have entirely traumatized men. Our men are traumatized.
How do you fix it? It's a complicated question, but
I think I don't think we can fix it. We can't even fix keeping the lights on, dog. You kidding me? We can't even keep our lights on, dog.
But I mean, what do you think about like harsher prison sentences, or even, dare I say it, bring back death sentences?
Yeah.
Do you think that would solve anything?
I think our society is too corrupt
for that to work.
Because only poor people would die. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we should start small, man. I think me and you as men need to watch what we say, how we speak.
Yeah.
We need to call out men. We need to continuously try and prove ourselves as men. But the irony of it is that we live in a society that black people are always going, white people need to educate themselves. But when it gets to when you tell black men they need to educate themselves about how we treat our women, they go, it's none of our business. Yeah. We were like, no, it is your business.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm just against. There was never a tricky moment. I'm against injustice.
Yeah.
Anyone who's been mistreated, woman, doesn't matter if it's a man, gay man, anyone who's been unjust, I'm against it.
And then your sanitary pads. I saw that you actually recently did the Men's Health May issue, if I'm not mistaken. I actually want to talk more about that. But I saw that for every one copy, there was a sanitary pad donated. How did that work? Like, did you drive that behind? And
no, it was so when I initially heard I'm doing Men's Health at the shoot, I asked them. I said, no, I want to do this, and they actually said yes pretty quickly. I have a charity called Menistration, the play on men. I want men to get involved a lot more in this fight against gender-based violence or sanitary pads. And I just think it's time, man. I'm sick and tired of just people suffering.
Yeah.
And for me, suffering has no color.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's a white person who's poorer, I feel. If there's a black, I feel. I don't care what race you are. And for me, I'm known as being controversial because I say how I feel, and I'll put in a there and a there and a there and a there and a there.
It's a lot of bleeping.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you bleeping? Yeah. That's beautiful because they understand the passion of it. But I think there comes a time when people need to take a stand, man.
Yeah. No, and I salute you for that.
Yeah.
I think it's really admirable. But let's talk about your men's health, your men's health journey. Because how did that start? When did you really start training? How was your diet? I mean, sort of like, also, why did you do it? Was it for like a little bit of a patting yourself back? Or
No. Men's Health was an entirely, unbelievably, 250% ego-driven project.
Yeah.
I wanted it. I wasn't going to rest till I got it. And it's always been on my radar. It's the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life.
When did you start?
Well, I at least had a base.
Yeah.
I had a base. Took me about two months.
It took you 2 months?
Yeah.
Oh, but you were involved in what? Rugby, water polo?
Yeah.
And so you sort of had, that was the base.
I'm pretty genetically superior to most humans, I must be honest. But what I went through, I don't wish on my worst enemy, I must be honest.
Yeah, but talk me through like an average week for you. and your diet and your gym regimen? Were you gymming 3 times, 2 times, 1 time a day?
Men's Health was about six sessions of gym per day.
Yeah.
So in the beginning it was 5 sessions, but an hour session, just like pushing. Then that last month was about 6 days a week. I was doing about an hour and 30 minutes of running per day, 30 minutes walking on the treadmill, so about an hour of running, 30 minutes of walking. And I was doing weights for about an hour and a half as well, hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
But for me, I think you can get away with not doing that.
Yeah.
So I must be honest, the pictures on Men's Health actually didn't give justice of how I looked at the
No
time.
Photoshop, eh?
No.
None.
The only Photoshop that they did was actually take away my veins because I literally was jacked. And then the picture that they picked was actually hiding how jacked I was because they had my arms up here because my chest, because I'm quite self-conscious about my chest. I don't have a big chest for boxing. So my chest was here. So then they were like, okay, let's do it. Let's put your arms up here. And you see it hides my chest. But when you say I was jacked, like I was like that. And then they were like, they had to soften me a bit.
And what were you dieting on?
I lived on egg whites, meat, fish, broccoli. 6 meals a day.
Sure. That's discipline, eh?
No, bro. No. I remember the final month, I don't think I avoided women. I avoided women because I wasn't on carbs. I didn't have any, there was no energy to be able to do anything else except just gym. To be able to wake up and gym some days, hated my trainer.
Yeah.
Hated him.
And speaking of women, you're single, eh?
Yes, I'm single.
Still single?
And if you're watching this and you think we're in a relationship, we're in a relationship.
Would you ever do something like The Bachelor or something?
They've tried. They've asked me to be in a Bachelor.
Yeah.
They've tried. But I'll sleep with all of those women. Every single one. I'm the wrong guy.
Yeah.
For The Bachelor, it will be called Bachelor OG Edition. Bachelor OG Edition. Sponsored by Julex. Magna Muyo.
Yeah. No, I get you.
No, it's not me. I don't do public affection as well. No, but it's not my vibe. I'll be the Bachelor for life.
You no plans to settle down?
No.
I'm sure your mom will be disappointed to hear
I
that.
have no plans to get married. It looks like the worst thing ever. I want kids.
Yeah.
And people are gonna go, how are you gonna have kids when you're not married? I'm like, I promise you, the womb and the penis work without a ring on your finger. I promise you it works. Oh my God, you're gonna have children and you're gonna co-parent. Terrible. And I'm like, there are murderers, there are rapists, there are serial killers who came from good homes.
Yeah.
No one said the formula is a mother and a father.
Yeah.
Creates good kids. I promise you, serial killers come from.
We don't know what happened. He was such a good kid. Such great examples from parents.
Walks into a school, kills flipping 50 people.
Yeah. No.
So I'm all about, I want a child. If eventually I meet a woman and she becomes my, just something happens, then eventually, I don't know, but I'll never get married. That's not my vibe.
Okay.
It's man-made and religion-made, and I don't believe in a God I don't believe in God. I don't believe in religion, and I don't believe in social norms or social pressures.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very millennial way of looking at life.
But I've always.
Yeah.
I'm not a millennial.
You're not? How old are you?
34.
34.
Can I be called a millennial at 34?
Black don't crack. You don't look 34.
Guys, a millennial, 34. Bro, I don't believe in church. My mother used to force me, bro.
Yeah.
The only thing I used to look forward when I go to church is the amen at the very end, and I walk out.
Yeah. Let's talk about your mother. Let's talk about the type of person that produces a Siv Ngesi.
They don't blame my mother. I was raised by a Xhosa, strong woman who taught me to be opinionated. She was a principal. Then she just taught me to be strong and opinionated, man. I think we clashed a lot growing up because she was involved in molding this kid. This kid was the only son and first son in the family, and So I got this. I was treated well, man.
You have siblings?
I have two older sisters.
Two older sisters.
My elder sister is my PA. She's like 13 years older than me. And she was like, nah, bruh, growing up with you wasn't easy because we could see you were special. We just didn't know what it was. So it irritated them as siblings, but they could see there was something about this kid. And now that I'm older, they're like, okay, cool, this is what it was, you know? But I was fed love and belief. They believed in me.
Yeah, and you grew up in Gugulethu, and then you went to Pinelands.
I went to Langa, and then I went to Pinelands High, yeah.
And how was your experience there?
Pinelands was do you know I was offered a scholarship to Rondebosch Boys?
Oh really? Yeah, that's where I went. Yeah.
I know. And it's one of the best decisions of my life not to go there.
Yeah.
Because I think I would have been a professional sportsman right now. I would have been a professional sportsman through and through. This is what I would have been. There would have been nothing else in the world. I would have dropped my acting, right? Pinelands had the best drama department in the country. And so I'm glad. I think I definitely feel like my sports suffered from not going to Rondebosch. My education suffered a bit. Like I think I would have been a lot, more, you know what I mean, if I got to Rondebosch Boys and that culture of it. Better rugby, better facilities and stuff like that. I definitely feel like there were certain things that definitely suffered. But the biggest part of me as the entertainer, as the person that I am, I got from Pinelands High. You know what I mean? But I can remember the interview. Yeah.
Because something that's very topical at the moment, it's a result of Black Lives Matter, is that a lot of these Model C schools are coming under a lot of scrutiny. And I'd say Pinelands falls under a Model C school. What was your experience? Because, I mean, you would have been in school shortly after the fall of apartheid. You would have been really going through the schooling system. Like, when did you matriculate? 2002? 2004. So that's pretty much the peak, what I'm talking about. What was your experience in relation to Black Lives Matter? And, did you feel like you had a weird experience there, or was it quite an integrated school? Was there anything
I think my experience of Pinelands is quite a different experience than some other people, because Pinelands, they were so good to me. Yeah. Like, Pinelands was like, bruh, you're special. We won't baby you, but you're special. And then I got in trouble, I got in a lot of times. Yeah. But they addressed that I had something. Yeah. And then they helped mold. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think my views is definitely gonna be definitely a privileged view on Pineland, because they really did put their time and effort into me, and I can't act like that's not true. Like they really, really did mold me. I had a great experience.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But when did you matriculate?
15.
2015.
Yeah.
Now, when you matriculated, you guys knew too much, bro.
Yeah.
You guys knew too much.
Yeah, the thing is, it was weird. I think we were literally just before knowing too much. Yeah. I think
you guys knew more than we did.
Yeah, we definitely. Because for instance, so recently when all this stuff was happening, my school approached me to be a part of this thing called a social cohesion forum, in which we basically look to address sort of the imbalances and inequalities that exist in the school, as well as the prejudices, the misogyny as well that exists at the school.
But I knew there was misogyny in Rondebosch Boys before I was.
Yeah, anyone could have called that. But but one of the things that I noticed is that almost immediately was that. Sorry, I've kind of lost my train of thought.
Rondebosch Boys.
Yeah. So Rondebosch. I'm sorry, I've lost my point. Train of thought. But
so you said Rondebosch Boys. There's cohesion. You came back, positive. But what you noticed?
Yeah. So what I noticed was that I was the generation or the group before being too woke. So we knew what was happening. We knew that there was some things that were off in terms of the racism and at least our experience of it. But we didn't have the articulation or the words for it, and we couldn't really express exactly what was feeling. But we knew something was going on. Whereas the kids that are there now are very fortunate in the sense that they have the words. And you can see that they're already doing the things. I mean, for the first time, Rondebosch flew an LGBT flag at the school. Although it's a step in the positive direction, but I think that says a lot about the kids now. The kids now are actually able to articulate their activism. I think that's really beautiful. And I've been seeing it a lot in a lot of places.
I have another view
in the country.
I am glad I didn't know I'm glad I didn't know, bruh.
Because why?
Because it would have affected my high school experience, man.
Yeah.
I'll go back to high school in a split second.
Same.
Pylons was unbelievable. I'm glad I didn't know all the stuff and the terminologies and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All Pylons taught me was there's a bad person, there's a good person. It doesn't matter what color you are. You're bad, you're good. You're not a black good, you're not a white good. You're just good, you know what I mean? And we were against racism and we knew that this was wrong. But like, the people of this day, bruh, you know these kids, bruh, how do you even concentrate on working? What do you do? Like, it's just, I'm glad I didn't know it. And I had a great experience in high school. I had friends in Wonderbush Boys, Bishop Sachs, everywhere. And I'm glad I didn't know, bruh. My experience would have been very different, I think.
Why were you ever pushed to be a lawyer or a doctor or anything like that?
My mom wanted me to be a lawyer badly.
Yeah.
Doctor, all that.
And you just went interested.
But I faced her. I said to her, listen, yeah. The only doctor you're getting here is when I play Doctor with ladies in my room. Then we play Doctor, you know? Lawyer, when I have to argue on social media.
Yeah.
But there's no way you're getting a doctor here or a lawyer. I can remember the day. I had just done a gap year in America.
Yeah, what were you doing there?
I literally was housekeeping. I was doing anything. And I just told my mother outside Weinberg, right outside of the race course, and I said to her, I'm not. She was like, okay, you're back now. When are you starting? What are you starting? What are we doing? And I said to her, listen here, girl, I am going to be an actor.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it, and I'm going to achieve everything I want.
Yeah.
And when I spoke, she knew that she could press my sisters into things. So she pushed my sisters into tourism, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, okay, sharp.
And then how did that journey start? Did you go to acting school?
I've never studied.
You've never done acting?
I have a grade 12, my friend.
Okay.
Grade 12.
Grade 12, and then, but you just been acting from what? Like YouTube videos or yourself?
I think it's similar advice to
Thank you.
What I gave. Thanks. You South Africa.
It's lovely, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah? Yeah.
That's lekker, huh?
That's good. Have you ever been here before?
It looks like a little bit. Imagine this place on First Thursdays.
Pumps. So this place actually is inspired by Biggie Smalls. So if you see at the back, it says "It's all good, baby, baby." That was the name of the song. So that's one of his lyrics. I think the song's like "Juicy" or something. And then the name "I Love the Dough" comes from the song, the Biggie Smalls song "I Love the Dough." And it's actually owned by the same people who own Arcade, Marco Picone and Nicky Bjorn Reshik, or Reshka, sorry. And that's also themed like Biggie Smalls. So you'll see on the walls it says it was all a dream, and it's quite cool. I think they've really sort of like nailed the sort of millennial vibe. I mean, you'll see this place all over Instagram. Millennials love like the neon pink. Also on the side of the wall it says "Enjoy your fucking dinner." And then I don't know if you notice on the roof it says "Fuck anyone who doesn't like this place." So it's quite cool there, and the marketing was really like quite cheeky.
That was your sponsored post moment. Sponsored content right there.
Follow them on Instagram right over here. But yeah, no, this place is kef. Actually, I come here quite often. This pizza's good. Let's try the salad. We're quite keen to try the salad. We'll grab some pizza. So this is the bee salad. It's quite nice. It's got like, what's it got? It's got cucumber, pickled cucumber, Danish feta, greens, rocket, parmesan. It's quite nice. Avo?
Those little nuts are the ones you find on the trees.
Oh really? Did you ever go to the Transkei?
If you're Xhosa and you haven't been to the Transkei, are you ready Xhosa?
That's a fair point. Where Gumi is to Kusa? Okay.
You?
Jola. Did you go to the bush?
Obviously.
How did you, because I didn't go. I was interested to know, how did you find the experience?
It's life changing. Like any experience that you have to overcome? It's always life changing. Why didn't you go?
The first reason there was a fear. I'm man enough to admit that. As an 18-year-old, I was scared. Because you'd read a lot of these stories of like boys dying in the bush from like infections down there. As well as also, I think being a very like white-sounding Xhosa man, I think I was also afraid of that dynamic. But then also, I think thirdly, but to a lesser reason, is that I didn't really feel that I needed to do that to define myself as a man. I think being a man isn't defined by an experience. It's defined by like how you are day to day. You know?
So did you come up with that theory after you had overcome? So it's to hide the fact. Yeah, so you're like, nigga, I'm scared for you to touch my dick, but I don't need you to touch me to tell me that I'm a man.
Yeah, no.
And hell, it came third, right?
Yeah, but
you know, but are your surroundings? How black are your surroundings?
not that black.
Nah,
See, I mean, I went to Run Bush Boys, like I told you. I had, I think I was one of 6 black guys in my year out of 160. I'm adopted, so I'm adopted by a white family.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I still know my my real family, or my birth family rather.
How do you see them?
I see them, especially during the lockdown. You're seeing them a lot more often, because obviously circumstances are a bit more dire, so to speak. But I've been taking a bit more of a hands-on approach in the environment.
Black tax, nigga.
Black tax hit me hard, man. But it's a reality. But it's cool. It is what it is, you know.
So why did they adopt you?
My mom passed away when I was 1 year, 1 month. So it's weird because like you look at that and you think, oh, that's such a tragic event. But like I think knowing how mothers are, I think I was thrown into a better life, you know. And I think
How did they find you?
my mom worked for my mom. My mom sort of worked for my mom.
Yeah.
It was complicated, but yeah. And that's sort of how it happened. My dad skipped out, you know, the whole thing that happens. But yeah, so I think it threw me into a better life. I think I wouldn't have made the friends that I've had, so I can't really look at it too negatively, you know, although it would have been nice to have known my mother and whatnot. But I hope that at least every day I sort of make her proud.
Yeah, well, I can see how you wouldn't go to the bush, but me not going to the bush. Woo. Now, for me in my life, definitely it was because you don't get convinced to go to the bush.
Yeah.
It gets instilled in you over years. So for me, I was sitting in New York City as I eat this pizza. It reminds me of New York City. Sitting in New York City on a there was a subway, and I woke up. I was sleeping in the subway, and I woke up and I was like, I called my mom. I was like, I gotta go to the bush.
And did you feel different when you left the bush?
I think any experience that you go through that you have to overcome something it adds something to your life.
How much does Xhosa culture like resonate with you in your day-to-day life? Like, do you
More than religion could ever.
really? So you walk, breathe Xhosa culture every day?
No, the same as people who are Muslim. Islam is a way of life.
Yeah.
It isn't a religion, you know?
Yeah.
No. So as soon as something takes over what you eat and how your daily routine, I think that's definitely a way of life. And so for me, I'm a Xhosa man through and through. There's nothing about me that's Christian, you know?
Yeah, I remember when you spoke at my high school, my grade 10 year, I think. You always talked about how proud you were of your X Factor. You remember that speech? That was a good speech, actually.
Actually, I met you.
Yeah. I think around the time you were doing decaf.
But, you know, for me, yeah.
Wait, how did that go, by the way? Would you ever venture back into doing a special?
I do specials once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm busy putting one together, actually during lockdown.
Okay.
And it's more, I just want to go back to my basics of being a performer, you know? More skitty and stuff like that.
When do you think we'll be able to go to comedy shows in theatres again?
Yeah, bro.
Because that can't be anytime soon. But you know what's crazy?
I don't think this year.
But you know what's crazy though? If you, I mean, I speak to all my mates in like Germany and England. They're drilling. They're going to clubs. They're going to pubs. It's like things are back to normal, and it's kind of weird. Like we on. It doesn't seem like we're going to go anytime soon.
Remember,
They peaked a little bit earlier.
yeah, we early winter, and you know what I mean. So it's different timings. I think Corona works like fashion.
Yeah.
That North gets a few things outfits before we do.
No, I get you. How's the pizza?
It's great, man. Can't eat too much. I still have gym.
Yeah, I'm going to gym as well after this.
How do you end up here?
I love them.
How do you end up shooting here?
I always come to this place. I have a really good relationship with them because I have an app. I don't know if I've told you about it. So we do online venue booking. It's called GetVen. So we're supposed to have launched already, but because of all this COVID stuff, it's very difficult to launch a platform which is premised on people meeting up. So they're actually one of our first venues that we had, as well as Arcade. So I've always had a really good relationship with them. So it made the most sense for me to start my first episode
Sure.
here. But I think, so I'm quite excited. I think because every episode will work is that I'll be sitting down with a celeb or someone who is relevant in the South African context. Because I think there's quite a vacuum or a gap in the South African podcast, especially in the vlog space. I think a lot of people have been trying to enter it now, but I just don't think people are doing it the same way people internationally are doing it, because it's working internationally. And South Africans are also listening to content that is not South African made. So there's a lot of lack of relevance with
Yeah, because people have been asking me to do one for a while.
Yeah, or to actually do your own one. I think you'd be quite good at doing your own.
Yeah, time and effort.
So
These kind of things need consistency.
absolutely, yeah.
And my life is not consistent.
Yeah, see, I'm planning on choosing out one of these every 2 weeks. Twice a week, sorry. Both in Cape Town and Joburg. So yeah, it's gonna be. I'm really excited to see where this goes. Hopefully it can go well. But yeah, dude, I want to say thank you for your time.
Sure, man.
It's been awesome sitting down with you.
Pleasure.
Yeah, good luck with all your work.
Luck is for the unprepared.